But right now, I'm here in the studio because you might think that all yogurt is created equal. But guys, plain yogurt versus sugary yogurt, these are completely different things. Plain yogurt full of probiotics, similar to the probiotics that you can spend a lot of money buying in a pill form. And here to help us make sense of this buzzword, we want to welcome our holistic health expert and owner of Healing Insight, Senia Mae, back with us. Senia, you and I could talk probiotics all day long.
Yes, we could.
Because you know so much about probiotics. First up, what are they? They're all over labels.
They are, and probiotics are very simply the good bacteria that's in your gut primarily.
Okay, so
yes.
we want more probiotics.
We do, because probiotics, they help with your digestive system, they help to build your immune system, and they also help to counteract any bad bacteria that can be in your digestive tract.
Is it true, though, that when you do a round of antibiotics, if you have a sickness or something like that, that then you're wiping out your probiotics too, so you need even more probiotics?
Yes, a lot of antibiotics will kill the good bacteria in your gut, so you want to take probiotics to rebuild that so you don't have the digestive distress that a lot of people see when they're on a round of antibiotics.
I didn't realize, too, chlorinated water, pesticides, and diet soda can also kill that good bacteria?
Right. Well, think about it. I mean, chlorine is there to kill things, right? And good bacteria, they're alive, so you want to keep them alive. But if you're eating, pesticide-rich food, if you're drinking chlorinated water, that'll kill that in your gut as well.
So what are some things that might be going on with, our TCLers, anybody that you've got like some just uncomfortable, not feeling right, where you think probiotics might be able to help?
So one of the primary symptoms are digestive issues. So if you have a lot of bloating, if you feel like you have a lot of air in your belly, then probiotics are great. Constipation, diarrhea can really turn around either one of those.
Nobody wants that stuff.
Yeah, and people know about that. But then there's also the important effects on your immune system. So our immune system starts in our digestion, and probiotics help to build that. So if you have allergies, if you get frequent illnesses, then you do want to take some probiotics.
Oh, I wouldn't have thought of that with allergies. That's really interesting. Okay, now we've got some myths to go through. This one I think is really interesting. All probiotic supplements are created equal. So the idea that you can just go to the store and pick up any probiotic off the shelf is just not the case. What do we need to look for so we're not wasting our money?
Right, because if you go to the store, there are tons and tons of probiotics there, so what do you really pick? And you really want to look for something that first of all, is refrigerated.
That's important.
It is, because it's live bacteria. So if they're in a box, you don't know how long they've been sitting there on that shelf. You want to make sure that it's check the expiration date, make sure it's many, many, many months away if you are getting a non-refrigerated one. But I highly recommend a refrigerated one because it's going to stay live for longer.
So the confusing thing for me with probiotics has been the number and then the different strains of bacteria. And I have a hard time figuring out how many do I really need. Like some of them will say like 500 million. I mean, do I really need that? What do we want to look for?
I mean, you can start with like 100 billion is pretty common. I mean, even like one of the probiotics that we have has 25 billion units of
and that would be okay. Now you also have, look at this list, you guys, and I know that you're going to have a hard time reading that, but what is that, and why is that important that it has that long of a list?
So it's really important to look at this ingredient list here, and when you're selecting a probiotic, look for one that has at least 10 strains. So just look for the little italicized words. It'll say lactobacillus and bifidobacterium.
Yeah, you don't have to pronounce it.
No, you don't even need to know what they are. If you're just starting with a general probiotic, and just make sure there's like 10 or more of those. That's a good starting point.
Okay, so another myth is that any probiotic will help you. So you just listed all of those different symptoms that you might be feeling, but different strains help with different things?
Absolutely. So the ones that help with, your primary digestive distress and immune system would be the bifidobacteriums and the lactobacillus.
Okay.
So, and those are in a lot of products. But if you've just taken an antibiotic, the one that you want to look for is called Saccharomyces boulardii. So it's a special strain, and it's very, very effective for counteracting the effects of taking an antibiotic.
Okay, I'm sure people watching are on antibiotics right now. So say it again. What do we want to watch for?
It's Saccharomyces boulardii.
It sounds like you're like asking a witch to appear or something like that. Okay, very interesting. Here's another myth. You can't take too many probiotics. Can you overdo it?
You can absolutely overdo it. So in a culture here where more is better, if I take a little bit of probiotics, let's take extra. If you take too much probiotics, you will feel nauseous. I mean, actually in Chinese medicine, we consider it to be kind of what we call a greasy supplement.
Okay.
Where if you take a lot of it, it feels like you've ate a lot of greasy pizza.
Ooh.
So if you're taking too much, you'll know because you'll feel nauseous. You have kind of some stomach upset.
So do you recommend starting small and then kind of work your way up if you want to take more?
Yeah, just work your way up, or like start taking it one day and then maybe take it every other day and just kind of see what your body needs so that you get the right dose.
So I love how we went through some of the do's and don'ts when it comes to the supplements. Now
Yeah.
food. Okay, probiotics are in lots of food. Fermented food is like the biggest source of probiotics. So to list some of those good foods high in probiotics.
So of course you've got your yogurt, and then kefir, which is very similar to yogurt, which I know you love.
Yes. Explain what kefir is.
So kefir is actually just like yogurt. It's you take milk and then you just ferment it like you do with yogurt. But because you use a different strains of good bacteria in it, it gives it a different flavor.
It tastes like really tart and tangy. You brought me a little sample.
I did. So my husband is obsessed with making kefir right now, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, you have to share this with Elizabeth because I know she loves it."
Oh yeah. Oh, it's so tart.
It's very tangy.
Super tart and super tangy.
Yeah.
So that brings us to the next point, which I think is really interesting. Good job. Delicious, which is that is tart and tangy. That's plain.
Yes.
If you are looking for yogurts and kefirs that have strawberry flavor, mango flavor, that can be a real problem.
It can be, because usually they're adding a lot of sugar to make it taste better, right? Because
Yeah.
that was a really tangy.
Yeah, that's intense.
Beverage.
That's the real deal.
Yep. And when you have that much sugar added to the probiotics, what it does is it actually feeds the bad bacteria in your gut. So you're basically like overloading your body with bad bacteria. You might not be counteracting it with the good bacteria that's in it. So you really, really want to make sure that you're getting something sugar-free, something plain. I mean, you can mix some berries or something into it if you'd like to.
Yeah, but don't get something with added sugar because you're completely negating the probiotics.
Right.
Okay, so that's the myth that any yogurt will do. And then one more, any sauerkraut will do. People just think that any sauerkraut is good.
Right. Well, I thought so too. Like, oh, you just get the sauerkraut in the bag at the grocery store.
Yeah, whatever.
But that's really just made with vinegar. It's just cabbage that's soaked in vinegar.
So it's essentially pickled.
Yeah, it's not
fermented.
It's not actually fermented. So there's not good probiotics in that. So you really want to look for something that's, first of all, in a jar. And if you look at the ingredient list, it will say salt and cabbage. So like this is a really great brand. I know Bubby's.
Oh yeah, Bubby's I buy.
Bubby's, yeah, in the refrigerated section.
Yes.
That one's super, super awesome. So those are fermented. Those have good bacteria.
Senia, I told you we could do a whole hour-long show on probiotics.
Is our time up already?
I know, it's
oh my
so
gosh.
sad. Here's what you do. If you want to learn more about probiotics because you thought the time went too quickly, check out Senia's blog. She posted all about them. We have the link on TwinCitiesLive.com. And use the promo code HEALTHYGUT when you make your first appointment to get a complimentary bottle of probiotics. Big thanks to Healing Insight for sponsoring the show. Thanks, Senia. So
Yes,
great to
thanks,
see you.